guys, Wally Cowley here. I'm going to take on the challenge of trying to catch crappie in all 4 seasons here in Texas. So what I'm planning on doing is taking my kayak out, fishing a bunch of different lakes, and try to catch crappie during all the 4 seasons. And if you guys know much about crappie fishing, I mean, it's challenging to catch crappie in a boat. So catching it in a kayak, during the summer months and in the winter months is going to be a really big challenge. Yeah, you actually have a kind of an advantage over a boat in the springtime, right in the middle of the spawning. You know, the big part of the spawning. You actually have an advantage fishing in the kayak than opposed to a boat. But once that summer heat comes around, and the winter comes around, the fish move in deeper water, in open water, so it's going to be big of a challenge to catch crappie in a kayak. But I'm planning on trying it out. I'm going to try to catch crappie all 4 seasons in my kayak, and I'd like for you guys to come along with me, and we'll see if we can get some crappie in the boat. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button, because when I go to these different lakes, one of the things I want to touch on is how accessible the lake is for a kayak fisherman. Is it easy to launch your boat? How many options do you have to launch your boat? You can, because for a kayaker, you can launch at the boat dock, or you can launch in the dirt somewhere. If it's a flat, tapering slope bank, you can launch also from there. And one of the other things is, how far do you actually have to paddle or troll or however you work your kayak? How far do you actually have to go? Do you have to go really far to get to the crappie, or are you going to be in the wind? Those kind of things. If you go before you go drive, an hour or so to different lakes, and find out that when you get there that it's really not a good lake for kayak fishermen. I'm gonna go and check these places out, and I'm gonna give you the info on whether or not the lake is good kayak fishing. I started off right in this spot because of the shade, because we all know that crappie likes shade. So the fish were really small in this spot, and in the springtime, when you start catching small fish, you usually just make your bait presentation larger, and so you can catch bigger fish. But with this time of year, you can't get away with that. You have to use a small presentation of the fish. You just won't catch any fish, because they're just not looking for the big bite. They're nibbling on this small bait. So you can't get away with going with a larger bait. So don't try that in this time of year. That's kind of spring, late fall, or maybe even post-spawn tactic you can use. But you got, when this weather's this hot, you got to use a small bait. Okay, I marked this brush pile, and we'll see what's here. You got to watch my hook set on this brush pile. When I'm deep in that brush, to keep from setting the hook into a stump or a tree limb or something, when you're really heavy into the brush, I'm not talking about you're fishing on the edge of it, or you're fishing high above it. I'm talking about when you actually got your hook down inside the brush. So basically what you got to do is you don't set the hook on the fish. Basically, you drag him up above the out of the brush, and then once you feel like you got him past the heavy part of the brush, then you really you really try to sink the hook into him. You can't really set the hook. You can't actually put slack in the line and push the hook back and reset it. You can't do that because you're just going to come off. But you got to really follow through heavy with with your rod tip. And what this will do is it'll keep you from setting the hook in stumps. And if you was to grab a stump when you do that, then you can actually go back and shake the hook out of the stump because it's light. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Kayak fishing, all 4 seasons, it's going to be fun. Life is good when you're getting bent, so go out there and get bent, guys.